Let's call this meeting to order. Please, I'm sorry that we're a little bit late. Just things got busy in the caucus. Can everybody please stand? Anybody has a hat, let's remove them. Mr. Bodek, can you please have the prayer?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody please sit. I need... We're going to get a paper towel. That's fine. That'll work? Yeah, that'll work. Let me thank the Department of Public Property for turning the air conditioning on for us. That was sarcastic, guys. Okay. In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors behind you. Remember, never panic. Walk straight out the building to the outside. And any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided at the front of the room. If any member of the public wishes to speak during the public hearing regarding the renewal of franchise agreement between Comcast City of, oh, no, that's not it. We have the blue sheets on the front?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, anybody that wants to speak about Comcast and the City of Linden, please sign in the blue sheets. Cell phones, please turn them all off. If they ring, I will confiscate them. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Present.
Sadowski.
Here.
Strano.
Here.
Yamikaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Hickey.
Here.
Mr. Alvarez.
Here. I need a motion to approve the minutes of April 18th, 2017, regular meeting, and April 25th, 2017, scouting government meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes, and I will abstain on the April 25th, since I was not here. We have a presentation today. We have a gentleman that is graduating this year. Can I have Mayor Armstead and Mrs. Hickey please come to the front?
Wait, let me get my papers.
Before the presentation is made, I just want to say that serving our country, it is probably one of the highest honors that we should have. We have to remember that it was a priority in the older days, and I don't know where things have changed, but there's still people out there that believe that serving our country comes first. Remember what Kennedy said, it's what you can do for your country, and it's our community, it's our people, it's our friends, family. Mr. Tarnowski, please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. I think as a parent, probably one of the greatest things that we could do, one of the best things we'd like to see, is to see our children grow up to be something better than we are. And I think Daniel Tarnowski's parents should be awfully proud of him, because this young man is simply put an outstanding gentleman, and he represents our city well. He is a leader amongst his peers, and everywhere I go, I just hear outstanding things about him, and we're just certainly proud of him, probably just as proud as his parents are of him. So without any further ado, we have a proclamation written for him, and it reads, whereas Daniel Tarnowski was born and raised in Linden, His parents, Paul and Agnes Tarnowski, immigrated from Poland and settled here in Linden to raise their family. And whereas Daniel Tarnowski has two older sisters, Angelica and Monica, both who have gone through the Linden Public School system. And whereas Daniel Tarnowski is presently a senior and a student in the prestigious International Baccalaureate Certificate Program at the Linden High School, and when he graduates in June 2017, he will have earned a diploma that is recognized worldwide. And whereas Daniel Tarnowski is a 4-year varsity letterman for the Linden High School swim team, and this year he served as the team captain. Daniel also plays on the Union County rugby team. And whereas Daniel Tarnowski has been a cadet with the Linden High School Navy Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps for the last 4 years, and during his tenure, he has been a member of the Air Rifle athletic and academic teams. And now in his senior year, Daniel has achieved the rank of Cadet Lieutenant Commander and has served as a battalion executive officer. And whereas Daniel Tarnowski has recently been accepted into the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, where he will study electrical engineering, the Naval Academy is ranked in the top 10 colleges nationally and is also highly competitive in obtaining admission, with 17,000 applicants competing for one of the 1,350 appointments. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden and the State of New Jersey, on this 9th day of May, do hereby issue this proclamation recognizing and commending Daniel Tarnowski for his accomplishments through his schooling and for his achievement in being accepted to the Naval Academy. As Mayor of Linden, I hope that Daniel Tarnowski will be an inspiration to those and upcoming cadets of the City of Linden Navy Junior ROTC program. Once again, Daniel, congratulations and keep up the good work. You've done us proud.
Mom?
No, I'm just saying.
At this time, we're going to go with the public hearing on the franchise agreement between Comcast and the City of Linden. We have a representative from Comcast, Mr. Charles Smith. Can you please come up? How you doing, sir? Yes.
The mayor made this look easy. I don't know. Great, thank you. Good evening, President Alvarez and members of the City Council. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening and for putting Comcast early in the agenda. It's much appreciated. My name is Charles Smith, and I am the Senior Director of Government Affairs for Regulatory Affairs for Comcast here in the Freedom Region, in our systems here in northern New Jersey. I do have a prepared statement that I would like to read into the record. Then I would answer any questions of the council or members of the public. We are in the final stages of the cable television franchise renewal process, which is governed by both federal and state statutes and regulations. Comcast began the renewal process on or about December 4th, 2014 by sending a letter to the city indicating our intention to seek renewal of our non-exclusive franchise under Section 626A of the Cable Communications Policy Acts of 1984 and 1996. This was followed by an optional ascertainment period during which the city had an opportunity to review our performance, assess community needs, and issue a report. The report was due by November 3rd, 2016, 1 year prior to the expiration of the franchise expiration on November 3rd, 2017, which is coming this fall. Following the state's timeline, Comcast filed an application for renewal of municipal consent on or about February 2nd, 2017. That application has been available for public inspection in the clerk's office. Tonight's hearing is on that application. No action of the council is required. Tonight's hearing is just an opportunity to hear from both the governing body and the public. If your attorney has not told you yet, he will tell you that the governing body must base its franchise renewal decision on the answer to 4 questions. 1, has the cable operator substantially complied with the material terms of the existing franchise and applicable laws? 2, has the quality of the operator's service, including signal quality, response to consumer complaints, and billing practices, been reasonable in light of community needs? 3, does the operator have the financial, legal, and technical ability to provide the facilities and equipment that it is proposing to provide that is outlined in the application? And 4th, is the cable operator's franchise renewal proposal reasonable to meet the future cable-related needs and interests of the community, taking into account the cost of meeting such needs and interests? 2 areas the governing body may not consider in deciding whether or not to renew or not renew the franchise. Rates. Rates are governed by state and federal statutes and are outside of the municipality's authority. Programming. The channel lineup is protected under the First Amendment, just as is the content of a newspaper. However, nothing precludes the public or the governing body from commenting on rates and programming, but such commentary cannot be factored into the municipality's decision to renew or not renew the franchise. That concludes my prepared remarks, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Let's start with the dais. Any question, Ms. Cosby?
So are you going to give us an increase in that proposal? I haven't read it, I do apologize, but I know that there's a percentage that comes to the municipality for the purpose of information communication, like we use our channel 36, LindenTV and such. I know there was a certain amount that we got, so are we getting an increase, or is it just going to be flat?
That is a negotiable item in the franchise.
Okay, so we have room to negotiate?
Yes, not rates, but the grants that the company offers in support of access, your access channels and access programming. Yes, that the amount of that grant is negotiable.
Okay.
Anyone else on the dais?
He wasn't even paying attention.
No. From the public? Okay, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith, can I have your card?
Sure, certainly. As a matter of fact, I have some information I'd like to leave with the council.
Thank you. It's for everybody?
Yes. My card is in there. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Y'all want to?
At this time, I will need a motion to close the public hearing on reviewing the franchise with Comcast.
Make a motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Can you pass this over, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes?
Brown? Yes. Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski? Yes. Strano?
Yes.
Yamikaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Sir, if you have any more folders, can you leave some up front in case anybody
Anybody that wants one, we have a couple right here. Okay, this is the date and time established for the public hearing for ordinances on hearing. Blue signing sheet at the conclusion of the hearing, ask for motions to close the public hearing. I did that already. Okay. Why don't we start with Mr. Bodek, 6131.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Schedule of Titles, Salary Range, and Regulations for Maintaining the Classification and Salary Standardization Plan of all employees of the City of Linden," passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995, amending and modifying Schedule 4, LL-4.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance 6131 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read 61-32?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 3, Police Regulations of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999," passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Delete 3-31, removal of snow and ice in its entirety. Add new 3-31, removal of snow and ice.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing is closed and ordinance 6132 is adopted and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Mr. Porter, can you please read 61-33?
A bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of SCBA cylinders, air packs, and associated equipment for the fire department in and for the city of Linden, appropriating $902,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $856,900 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
I move to close the public hearing of ordinance 61-33 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read 61-34?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, that Chapter 7, Traffic shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations. 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street. Delete 513 Alexander Avenue, 1 space. Add 513 Alexander Avenue, 1 space. 818 Chandler Avenue, 1 space. 418 Hussa Street, and it's on the Maple Avenue side, 1 space.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I ask that the hearing be closed on ordinance 61-34 and ask for a second for its adoption.
Second.
Thank you.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read 61-35?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-13, parking prohibited for street cleaning and maintenance shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Delete Southwood Avenue, hours 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., location Highway to 21st Street. Windsor Road, South Side, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., Thursdays. Linden Avenue to 21st Street, Wood Avenue West Side, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tuesdays, Linden Avenue to 21st Street, Wood Avenue East, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Fridays, Linden Avenue to 21st Street. Add Windsor Road South Side, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Thursdays, location Style Street to Style Street, Bettle Place East Side, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday, from Greer Avenue to Allen Street. Bettle Place West Side, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Thursdays, from Greer Avenue to Allen Street. Wood Avenue West Side, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Tuesdays. Linden Avenue to Edgar Road. And then Wood Avenue East Side, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Tuesday, Linden Avenue to Edgar Road.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to speak on this ordinance? Okay. At this time, I need a motion to amend the resolution and
Yeah.
to continue it on the June meeting of the 8th.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion to amend ordinance 61-35 to correct the restrictions on Wood Avenue and continue ordinance 61-35 to the June 20th, 2017 council meeting, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. For 6136 and 6137, I would like a motion to hold the public hearing on June 8th on both of them.
Council President, I make a motion for ordinance 6136, requesting that it is held for public hearing on June 8th.
And 37.
You want me to do them both?
Yes, do them both.
Okay. Ordinance 6137 should also be held for the June 8th public hearing, and I ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. The consent agenda, all items listed with asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda, items 1 through 5. Does anybody wish to remove any of the items from the consent agenda? In that case, may I have a motion?
Council President, I make a motion that we move consent items number 1 through 5, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we will be moving to committee reports. We will start with Councilwoman from the First Ward, Lisa Ortman.
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to be really brief. Just wanted to let the residents of the First Ward know that tree planting has been completed for this particular season. Our next round of planting will be in the fall. So if you would like to have a tree planted in front of your house or on the side, you can reach out to me and I'll make sure that your name gets put on the list. But I'd like to speak a little bit about the tree planting process, because everyone seems to believe that they can just decline a tree. There is a certain amount of property that the city owns near every house in the city of Linden. In some instances, it's separated by a sidewalk, and in some instances, it's not that clear. Your front lawn actually runs straight to the street when there is not a sidewalk present. The city still does own 10 feet approximately of that stretch of land, and they have every right, I should say, to plant a tree there. Unfortunately, this process is ruffling a few feathers. It's not going as smoothly as we would like for it to go. So we're working diligently with the mayor and with our commissioner to make sure whenever we plant a tree, it's going to be an amicable situation. If you don't want it, it's not that we're going to say, okay, you don't have to have it, but we're going to try to put a process in place that will enable us to have open dialogue, to let you know exactly where we stand as a city and and understand how you feel as the homeowner who maintains that particular piece of city property. The second thing I'd like to talk about is, now that the summer's here, I'd like to talk about dogs, as crazy as that may sound. But we do have leash laws in the city of Linden, as our councilman had spoke on last month, but it seems to fall on deaf ears. Small dogs, large dogs, your dog still has to have a leash on it. It's for our safety as a pedestrian, and it's also for your safety as the dog owner, or as the pet parent, whatever you want to call yourself. It can be dangerous. Even if you live near a railroad track and you think that you can just let your dog out there because it doesn't have a lot of people, you can't do that. You just never know when there's going to be a child nearby. And we have had some children that have been bitten by dogs on their way to school, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. Children should feel safe walking to school. Now, when it comes to standing in front of your door with your door open, with your dog on a leash, if he gets out, you're still responsible. If your fence is low and your dog scales your fence, you are still responsible for the actions of your dog. So we're just asking, please be careful, especially now that the weather is breaking. People are just a little bit more laxed or relaxed when it comes to their dogs being outside. And they must be licensed, as Councilman Javik said. That is a big no-no. If your dog is not licensed and it bites someone, your dog will be quarantined. Okay. Also, we're going to have our community barbecue on June 3rd, Dobson Park. Our rain date is going to be June 10th. There are going to be flyers that are going to be coming around for the residents, and we're just asking that you RSVP via email to the email that's going to be on the flyer. This way we can get a count of how many people we're going to be expecting. We're also going to have a community safety meeting June 28th at the John T. Gregorio Center on Howland Street. And the purpose of this meeting is to discuss some safety issues that are coming up in our community. We have some issues with fake utility people knocking on doors, and people feeling that they can let them in. We also are going to discuss how to protect your home before you go away on vacation. I'm also working on having a presentation on some home security cameras, just so people can know that there are different types of options, and they're really easy, simple ones to install. So we're looking to have maybe a couple of vendors come in to go over that. Other than that, I really don't have much else. I just would like to wish everyone a very safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you,
That concludes my
Councilwoman.
report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. There's a movie, and I don't remember which one it is, that there's a council, and they're talking that the license of the dog went up, and they said, a licensed dog is a happy dog. I just needed to say that. If anybody remembers what movie it is, please remind me. Councilman Javik.
First of all, I think it's great to follow the first ward councilwoman because she covers pretty much everything. Okay, anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to tell you about our second ward. We just completed the assistance corners for all of West Henry Street. We also put Belgian block around the corners, which enhances and accents to each corner. So I hope everybody likes it the way it came out. Our next project will be to pave this road, West Henry Street, all the way down from Wood Avenue to Stiles Street. That's should be starting, I guess, pretty soon. As of today, also a new water line is beginning down DeWitt Street in the second ward. Let's see, I also recently applied for 2 traffic studies to be done on West Elm Street and Marion Ave. Both of these streets have immediate traffic situations, so we'll see if we can get those resolved. I keep hearing about the cone on Elm and Spruce. A contractor has been hired to handle the repair of that the street, manhole, and catch basin. The target date is June 1st for that project. I think that's been about a year that cone's been there, so I think we're overdue on that one. Some other problems that are going on are our parks. We have continuous problems with graffiti. We just had that over at Second Ward Park. They spray painted the picnic table. So if everybody could keep their eyes open, I would appreciate that, because we want to see if we can get maybe at some point cameras in all our parks also, especially after that fire that we had at that other park. Let's see, redevelopment projects that we're working on in the Second Ward is the JTG Center. We're moving along on that. At the scaffolding site and United Lacquer, both are in the beginning stages, and we'll be seeing on that. In regards to the landfill area, we're working towards selling some unused land, and also with our ultimate goal of creating a Linden solar field on top of the landfill. So, end of my report.
Thank you, Councilman. That was short and sweet.
Thank you.
Councilman Brown?
Okay. Third Ward, I'm sorry for some Third Ward. Street paving this year, I don't have exact dates, that will happen on Elizabeth Avenue, Northwood Avenue, Maple Avenue, as well as Middlesex. So that's going to happen this year. As the First Ward Councilwoman mentioned, we should be having a community meeting, First, Second, Third Ward, June 28th. More details will come out in regards to that. And also the First and Third Ward, where are you coming to? Second Ward? At Dobson Park, Saturday, June 3rd, with a rain date on June 10th. Also, I'm asking Third Ward residents if they need any trees planted or sidewalks fixed to call me. It seems like some people have an old phone number, a 908 number. My real number is 732-814-8123. The old 908 number is an old number. I haven't had that in 2 years, so it's a 732 number. Some other news, during the last month, me and the mayor had a couple of meetings over to discuss various issues. One, we had a meeting with the Board of Education where we're looking at ways to work together with the board, whether it's cost-saving measures or just overall working together. Some ideas that were generated that we're going to pursue is having some of the plays and concerts that are done in the schools done at the right across the street. Some of the TV programming that the high school does, or some in some of our schools, we want to put more of that content on TV 36 as well. Another thing that we did talk about, which I would like to see and ask the council support, is if we have students that are going to school or study engineering, that they get an internship here within City Hall, or we would partner with some of our companies, ConocoPhillips, things like that, to help them get them internships to help encourage their growth academically. And one of the things that I talked to the mayor about, and Danny Robertozzi, the superintendent, is we have a Scout Day in April. And what I want to do is recognize some of our, I call them young scholars, maybe in a July meeting this year, students who are part of the National Honor Society and who achieve academically, because I feel like we recognize a lot of our kids that do well in sports, but we forget the kids that do well academically. And so that's something that I'm talking to our superintendent and the mayor with, is recognizing these students annually during a July meeting. Last but not least, the train station. I have a few people that I want to bring up to talk about the train station. It seems that it's okay.
Take Sandy's phone.
You gotta take the cell phone.
Take Sandy's
I
phone.
will. I know where she lives. I'll take it.
So it seems like the misconception is that this has been a new issue where it hasn't. And so first I wanted to call Al McDonald, who is in charge of public property, give a little bit of background about the train station. The misconception is that we own the train station when we don't. We actually lease it from New Jersey Transit. And so we know that there's some ongoing issues. And so what I want to do is talk about what some of the issues are that we are aware of, what are some of the things that we have done, what are some things that we are doing, and where the source of the funding is coming from that. So Al, I don't know if you can just speak briefly about the history of New Jersey Transit and some of the things that we were working on.
Okay, just to start off, as Councilman Brown mentioned, we do not own the property at the train station. It's not City of Linden property. We own a very small, not a very small, but a small portion of the parking area on the Elizabeth Avenue side. That's the only part of that parcel that the City of Linden actually owns. We're under a lease agreement with New Jersey Transit for the rest of the facility. It's not a unique situation. New Jersey Transit has that situation in several other towns, but a lot of the other stations are owned, operated, and maintained by New Jersey Transit. That's not the case here. So the actual building on the property and all of the parking, with the exception of that one lot on the Elizabeth Avenue side, is New Jersey Transit owned. Our responsibility as far as the lease agreement is we do the daily maintenance and minor repairs to the facility, the garbage, the taking care of the bathrooms, if lighting or windows need to be replaced, the general regular maintenance. Any capital improvement project, and there are several of them right now that need to be done falls under the responsibility of New Jersey Transit. In recent years, we've had a very good working relationship with them in the past. However, in the past several years, and I guess it's because of budget constraints on their part and ours, the relationship has gotten a little bit different. They expect us to do a lot more than we have ever done in the past. I don't know why exactly that changed. My guess would be budgeting. However, many of the issues that we're having at the train station now are definitely capital improvement projects. We have walkways that are deteriorating, the stairways that are deteriorating, and we are aware of this. It's just that we've been in dispute with them for at least 2 years now about what exactly is their responsibility compared to ours. So until we get that hashed out, what we decided to do after meeting there and doing another inspection, even though these things have been brought up to them, there's been no movement on it at all. So what we've decided to do is to, even though it shouldn't fall under us, we're going to make necessary repairs that we're capable of doing that make it a safe environment. Other than that, we're still in dispute with them, so hopefully we'll get a better handle on this in the near future. Our attorneys are working at it. I've been working with the different people at New Jersey Transit. There's a whole new group of people that we're dealing with on a regular basis. The other group of people that we were working with for many years seemed to be a lot more cooperative, and now there's been some changes. So until we get that hashed out, we're going to be, you'll see some work going on there, and that's just to make it a safe environment until we get everything else hashed out. I don't know if anybody had anything else.
No, thank you. No, well, everything was covered at caucus. Thank you, sir.
And then lastly, I just want to call Frank up. He's in charge of DPW. There was questions in regards to April 29th about some work that was done there. And I don't know, Frank, if you can answer. Usually we do work on the train station on the weekends. And Frank, if you could just explain why we do work on the train station on the weekends, some of the work that was done, and some of the work that is going to be done.
Good afternoon. Good
Good
evening.
afternoon. Thank you.
We do the work on the weekends right now is because I don't have the manpower to put anybody steady at the place or to do the work from taking away from everyday operations. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to take care of what's been ailing at the train station and trying to repair it so it's safe for the commuters to come in. And then with cleaning underneath the bridge and everything, it's been so neglected. It's been filthy and horrible. We have to do it at nights because of all the pigeon droppings and everything else. I can't have the commuters walking through Osborne's power washing and trying to clean everything up and trying to desanitize everything. So that's the reason why we're working at nights and working on Saturdays to try and get everything accomplished so we can go forward with this mess and see where we have to go from there to get the real vital repairs. You also have that retaining wall that has to be taken care of with the transit that we cannot repair. There's a lot of major work. Like you said, we were discussing on with them coming in and explaining to them and telling them what they have to do. Because it's been neglected for quite a few years.
Thank you, Frank. So I just want to make it clear, though, with some of the repair work that's being done and the overtime that was done, you know, there was questions from the public as well as other people that it was done on overtime and that was taxpayers' funds. So what I want to make clear is that we have a release agreement with New Jersey Transit. So last year alone, the revenue that we brought into the train station was $4,706.80. You deduct expenses that the city paid. So our expenses to New Jersey Transit, we have to pay 40% of the revenue. We keep 60%. From that 60%, we also pay salaries, we pay from the maintenance that's being done at the train stations, things like that. After that's all said and done, the city nets about $966.17 last year alone. That's the equivalent of one tax point. So the conception that the work that's being done and the manpower that's being done is taxpayers' funds is not true. What happens is that we're using the money that we're generating from the revenue from the train station every year to make these repairs and pay the overtime or even regular time down there. I don't know if anyone had any questions in regards to the train station. I know it's been a hot topic issue. They could reach out to me or to the mayor's office and we'll answer those questions. And lastly, there was a gentleman that mentioned getting bike lockers at the train station. again, in the spirit of us trying to find grant money, other sources to pay for these things, we are looking into what's called the New Jersey DOT Local Aid Infrastructure Fund, where Montclair, they applied for grant money and got lockers down at their train station. So that's something that we're looking to do as well, is apply for grant money to get lockers down there, so that taxpayers are not paying for this. Other than that, end of report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brooks?
Thank you, Council President. I'll give a couple of reports. Number one, a report from our Department of Public Property and Community Services. I hereby submit the monthly financial report for the Division of Transportation and Parking for the month of April 2017. This report includes a collection of on- and off-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. New York side collections, $3,780.25. Trenton side collections, $4,263. Credit card transactions, $24,018.64. Parking meeting collections, $15,259.75. Railroad permits, $7,675, for a grand total of $54,996.64. From our clerk's department, the City Clerk's Licensing Division is submitting this monthly report for the month of April 2017. This office issued 485 dog licenses, 54 miscellaneous licenses, and collected $7,414. Also from our clerk's department, the following licenses, permits, and transcripts issued in the city clerk's office during the month of April 2017 and fees received have been turned over to the municipal treasurer of the city of Linden. 119 birth, death, and marriage transcripts, $1,785. 32 marriage civil union licenses, $96. 6 miscellaneous revenue, $13.35. 165 vital statistics reports, $2,474. For a grand total of $4,369.68, $800 of which is state revenue. And my report from the Fourth Ward. I've gotten a lot of calls with regard to the renovations at Dr. King Park. That has been an ongoing conversation between myself, our engineering department, Mr. Verchek, and with the DPW with Al McDonald. I assure you that no one, not Al McDonald, not George Verchek, nor anyone here seated, or our committee people, are in favor of the park not being open and operational at the start of the summer. The basketball courts, as you know, the stanchions have been up. It started in the winter. The paving, the milling and paving, as per Mr. Verchek there, I believe you said it would take a day for the milling and another day for the paving. There was some delays with regard to the contractors, but I'm sure by Mr. Verchek that has been resolved. We're probably looking at, and again, I hope that I don't overspeak, Judge, I believe you said approximately 3 to 4 weeks. So we're talking approximately 3 to 4 weeks for the milling and paving for the basketball court to be done. At that point, Mr. Verchek and Mr. McDonald have already spoken together to coordinate with each other. When the milling and paving is done, the backboard, the rims, baskets, all will be done, painted, the court would be operational, and hence the park would be operational. So as much as I appreciate all of the calls that I got with regarding the basketball court, keep in mind that it is not just the basketball court that this $150,000 that we're talking about from the grant is due with regard to the renovations. We're also talking about the entrance to the park. We're talking about the kids area where the swings are. And for those of you who come to the park a lot and have been there over the years, like myself, that there's a concrete monstrosity out there that I think was originally supposed to be a turtle. I can't find anybody who knows exactly what it was supposed to be, but I can tell you it's going to be removed. That comes out, as well as repairs to the workout station. And as per Mr. McDonald, we have one of the most heavily used workout stations in the city. So that's going to be redone as well. So as much as I appreciate the conversation with regard to the basketball court, that is not all of the renovations that we have that we're talking about. There may be some additional delays with regard to not to the basketball court, but with regard to the kids area and the workout area as a result of contractor approvals, that kind of a thing. But I'm assured that we are going to start within 3 weeks with full repair of the basketball court. That's the painting, coordination with the PPW, get the basketball rims and court backboards up, and we'll be ready to go. June 3rd, come on over to Dr. King Park, 4th Ward Park. We're having our first classic car show and picnic. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there, have a burger with us. As you know, some of you see me driving around in a very old blue car. That is a 1964 Riviera. It will be out there, and we have some other cars that are coming down. Please come out, take a look at the cars. Our guys are pretty funny with regard to cars. Look at them, but please don't touch them. Have a good time. Come out and say hi to us. The repair. We talked about repairs to streets. I'm most pleased, and as I'm sure everybody else is who travels Carnegie Street, Baltimore Avenue, or Baltimore Avenue into Carnegie Street, especially at the top of the hill where you have Curtis Street. All of those potholes, that gauntlet that had to be traveled, that's all been repaired. So now we're talking about a repair paving from St. George Avenue, Baltimore Avenue, probably all the way down to approximately Dill Avenue. So all of those repairs have been done. Street looks good, and we'll continue to make those kinds of repairs. I've also reported to our engineering department the walkway, the sidewalk on the approach to McCandless Street for those students who are going to School 5. So we're talking about Curtis Street, about a block, just a couple of blocks, not even a block, a half a block before you reach the traffic light at Curtis and McCandless Street. For some reason, that area floods, which again, that's an elementary school, so that means that the kids will now have to properly walk maybe on the mud, on the side, or in the street, which is the worst-case scenario. So again, that's already been reported. Our engineering department has assured me that that's due for renovations, but as Mr. Martucci said, neither myself nor anyone here can dictate to any department when that work is going to be done. That work has to be done as per the individual departments, manpower, scheduling, all of those kinds of things are things that are in the hands of those respective departments, and I believe should be. That's exactly where it should be. So I cannot tell you exactly when this date is going to be. I can tell you, because I've had a conversation with Mr. Verchek, that we're talking about 3 weeks for the court. The other repairs will take some time, and again, that's with regard to how the manpower is allocated and scheduling is done through that particular department. Also, most of you know, if not, I've coached several sports at Linden High School. I'm now coaching track. Track is going on now. I have a young man who is a 10th grader, a sophomore at Linden High School. Yesterday, Kyle Lipscomb, is who I'm talking about, is the Watchung Conference discus champion. He threw yesterday 151 feet 4 inches in the discus. That means that a 10th grader who is now competing against seniors at Elizabeth High School, Union High School, Plainfield High School, all of those schools that are in our conference, we have a 10th grade student who threw 151 feet 4 inches and is now the conference champion in the discus. Great job. One thing about that, and again, our coaches are kind of funny people. Football, basketball, those sports that I coached, usually when someone wins something, everybody gets a jacket and, you see the T-shirts and everything. Track is the only sport where the kid gets a medal and I get nothing. So unless I talk about it, you'll not know that I really had something to do with it. But, he has a medal, and in track, that's just the way that it goes. But, it's a great job. And let me also say that Kyle Lindstrom is a extremely good student as well. With regard to one of the comments that Councilman Brown made with possibly giving recognition to our students who are on the academic end, I would like to include, whenever that happens, we had a group of students from our International Baccalaureate, our IB program at the high school, who tutored at the LMPC. Did an excellent job, did a great job. Everybody was well pleased. I was well pleased. They assisted our students. They lived in the community. Hopefully, when we get an opportunity to talk, we'll coordinate and give us an opportunity to recognize those students who did that kind of work at the LMPC in assisting our students. With that concludes my report. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Brooks. Councilwoman Cosby-Hurling.
Thank you, Council President. From the construction code, the total collected for the month of April was $82,700. $24,000, and the report is going to be on file in the clerk's office. From the Linden Roselle Sewage Authority, they have adopted a new rate schedule that is also on file in the clerk's office. From the Fifth Ward, we have a resolution on tonight that is going to be exclusively for Fifth Ward residents, which is June the 3rd, as a fee-free yard sale for all of the Fifth Ward residents. You can do a yard sale on June 3rd without having to get a permit. And June 17th is the rain date. So stop in the Fourth Ward at the car show, then come back to the Fifth Ward and go do a little shopping with our neighbors. I'm personally going to be at the county park because they have Naughty by Nature at Cedarbrook Park, so that's where I'll be. So just putting that out there. That concludes my actual report about what's happening in the neighborhood. There's an event, one thing I want to talk about, a fundraiser that we're going to have. It's a bowling event. It's going to be the first Monday, Thursday? The second Thursday of next month is the Fifth Ward Club fundraiser. It's the only fundraiser that we really do each year, and the club actually supports different community activities. So if anyone's interested, it's at the Jersey Lanes, or just call me 908-718-7933, and you can come with us. It's $20. It's fun. It's 2 hours, and we'll be there. So, and that's all I have to say about that. But I do want to say I need to make a mention of something that's very, very, very troubling to me. And as a person who is a taxpayer, who is a seated elected official, I'm just disheartened by what I personally witnessed the other day. So it was Mother's Day. I'm going up the road, and I just happened to see the mayor in the city vehicle, which is not uncommon because he has the vehicle and he uses it as he needs to. But what caught my eye was that there was a gentleman who was at the exit of the passenger door. The gentleman just happens to be a candidate for office, which, like, I had to do a double take. Needless to say, I asked him, I said, yeah, I'm waiting for this guy to get back in the car. We had a couple of words. The young lady who was standing there is a resident who, explained that, they rode up on me and said, where do you live? Let's register you to vote. Like, all of this had all transpired, but what makes it so troubling is the fact that there were rumors being circulated about the misuse of the vehicle. I don't go into the rumors per se, but when I see it with my own eyes, then it's like, okay, really? There's rules against this type of thing, period. I know that members on the council today had been admonished by their employers for having political signs in their employers' vehicles. You can't use city vehicles or any other vehicle that's paid for by the taxpayers for election purposes. It's wrong, and there needs to be something done. I don't know what needs to be done. I'm just going to say that I reached out to the city attorney. I actually sent him the video that I took from my phone because I just couldn't believe it. I just said, okay, you won't believe me unless you see it with your own eyes. So I took a video, and so I haven't gotten any advice from the city attorney, which means I'm here now, and I'm actually up here asking the members of council to do something, because not only are we paying for the fuel for this vehicle to be used, now you have non-city employees, and there's politics being done on the vehicle, in the vehicle. It's a liability because we're self-insured, and we hear that all the time. But it's disrespectful to us who pay taxes. And I know that Councilwoman last night said, Councilman Ormond said, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. It's not right. So this is not right. Just because you can do it doesn't make it right, and it shouldn't be done. So I don't know what we need to do as a governing body here, aside from repossessing the vehicle, for goodness sake, but it needs to be done. There needs to be a conversation. I don't know if it's us, the council, if it's the state election commission, or who it is, but I'm just putting it out there. And so the video has been submitted. I'll give a copy to the clerk. I don't know how it's going to be distributed to the people, but I'm complaining out loud and in public. It's not right, and it should stop immediately. Also, it's election season. We get it. I know it. We've done this many, many times, but the only thing that I want to just say is, and neighbors came up last month, my neighbors, and he said, I'm going to quote him, he said, people need to campaign responsibly. I get it. You want to win a seat. You want to, do something, or you want to participate in local government. We all get that. But don't go around making false accusations about the candidate. Fair is fair. I mean, I was called stupid, basically, in so many words. I'm calling many cows, all kind of stuff.
Point of order, Council
But I
President. Is
do
this
my
city business?
job.
Hold on. What's the point of order, sir?
Point of order.
What is it?
Is this city business?
She thinks it is, like her
It's
fourth
not.
word.
I would refer to the city attorney for a ruling on this.
Ms. Antonelli?
I would just ask that you conclude your remarks and move on.
Well, that's not a good answer. So let me just finish. I'm going to conclude my remarks. We shouldn't be telling falsehoods about the other candidates. We are here to do a job.
Council President,
So
the city attorney
I don't want to
spoke.
hear that
Hold on.
someone
Order.
abused his girlfriend or
She's
somebody
finishing
did.
her.
I'm finishing my remarks.
So-
We just need to make sure, again, we campaign responsibly. Look at the candidates, watch what they say, watch who's pulling their strings and who's dragging them by their nose, and watch all of the actions that take place, period.
Okay, that's it.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Sadowski?
That would help. Some people wish I didn't put it on. But for the fire department, Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of April 2017. I'll just give you the grand total. It was $4,053.89. The ambulance cost reimbursement system for the Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $66,563.98, April 2017, has been added to the total deposits for 2017, which gives us a grand total of $279,453.83. And lastly, from the fire department, the Linden Fire Department Fire Prevention and American Red Cross held a smoke detector install day on April 29th in parts of the 6th and 7th Ward. With volunteers from the MBA locals, American Red Cross, and Phillips Bayway Refinery, the LFD were able to canvass most of these two wards, installing 135 smoke detectors and 60 carbon monoxide detectors. They visited over 750 homes. Unfortunately, they were not able to finish the 7th Ward. Special thanks is given to Phillips 66 Bayway Refinery for providing 100 carbon monoxide detectors for the install day, so we were able to provide them to the residents that needed them. If for someone in the 6th Ward you did not get one for some reason, please give me a call. That's 908-862-0749. I will contact the fire department and make sure you get one. Members of the Linden Fire Department Boat Task Force participated in a week-long shipboard firefighting 1 and 2 course, which hands out on training at the New York Fire Academy, paid not by the city but by a FEMA grant. Linden Fire Department members this week are attending a rail safety and emergency response training courses hosted by the Norfolk Southern in the train yard on West Linden Avenue, so they're not leaving the town. In early June, Linden Fire Prevention is sponsoring a seminar with Linden High School seniors entitled After the Fire, a safety seminar with fire victims from the Seton Hall Dorm fire in 2000. Just basically, if you have any kind of problems, please don't hesitate to call the fire department because they will come out to help you. Takes care of them. Sewage Department, which I'm a commissioner, Linden needs to put one other person on the board. It was brought up, I have no idea who they picked, but it has to go through the council before we vote on it. But Linden needs one more person. The other thing, garbage cans are coming. They will be coming, what I told, beginning of the summer. So when I get, when they're gonna deliver them, I'll let you know. Okay, going into something a little bit more serious. I forget the exact date, but on Woodlawn Avenue, I forget what time at night, 5, whatever it is, we had a very serious crash. The gentleman and lady rode up from the highway, straight up Woodlawn Avenue. When you get to the end, you make a left. He didn't make the left. He ran straight ahead into the house. Luckily, no one was killed, but the house, people cannot live in the house now. It's unsafe. The 2 people who were there were cut up a little. They went to the hospital, and they're fine. It's a very sharp turn there when you make that turn. The woman right on the side, I won't mention her name, she must have had at least 5, 6 cars go through her fence, at least. So she's waiting for her to try to put up a new fence finally. We brought this up before the accident committee here in Linden, also with the county. They are trying to come up with some kind of safety device or something a little bit more. One would be a flashing sign to attract the, people's attention before the turnoff. Another thing possibly would be installing humps or bumps, speed humps or bumps. For this kind of, accident to happen, the city would be better off with speed bumps. It would slow the person down much more than the humps. This will be under review with the city police department and so on. They have to do a survey. What's also there, right at that corner, is a woman who has a autistic child. We have signs for the, watch for the children, so on, but it's a dangerous situation. Talking about that, I just want to thank the DPW for, there was all sorts of brush in front of this woman's house. With the child, they came and took it away the next day. So thank you for it. It was a safety thing. But it's still up in the air what's going to happen. There was talk of possibly making Woodlawn Avenue one way up from the highway. Down into the highway, but this would have to be studied by the Traffic Commission. But we are working on something for that one spot, whether it be humps, bumps, lighting, whatever it is. The county is being mixed up into it, so we hope to get some kind of solution for the safety of the people. The other one, I want to thank the DPW. On Emma Place, we have homes that have been taken away because of the flooding. They were down there the other day, I just happened to be down there, and they came and they mowed and they took the grass away and so on and so forth of the homes where no one is at. Otherwise, we would have the mosquitoes, the snakes, whatever it is. But they did a very fine job. There was 1, 3, 4 houses that they took care of. So, thank you again. Let me just look, make sure I don't. At this time now, please be careful. Like I said, we have Woodlawn Avenue and there's other streets in the city. Please watch, protect your children. That ends my report.
Thank you. Councilman Strano.
Thank you, Council President. We also just completed our tree planting in the 7th Ward. Trees are planted along Tremley Point Road. All the parks got some trees. Main Street, and I think another area where we had, actually with one of those windstorms, we had 2 trees that were actually blown down. They were about 4 or 5 inch diameter trunks and just snapped right off at the base. So there was some wind that we had these past couple of weeks. And we've also had a little bit of rain too, so naturally everybody's been struggling to get their lawns cut. But as Councilman Sadowski had just indicated, those homes that were purchased through the Blue Acres program are now essentially just big lawns. And it was brought to my attention that that is our responsibility to maintain those. And I've been told by Frank McCucci of DPW that we're scheduled to have our lawns cut there this Thursday and Friday. And I think we have about maybe 12 or 14 of them in the 7th Ward. On that same note, we have a couple of vacant homes that haven't been demolished yet, and they're going to have to get to those as well. And we also have vacant homes that are probably foreclosed, and they are in the process of being, the property maintenance responsible parties are being contacted by our Board of Health to get them taken care of. It's quite a bit, and it's pretty unsightly. Getting back to things that are going on in the city with our engineering department, we have some streets that this year the odd number of wards are getting the capital resurfacing projects done, of which 7th Ward will be getting their streets paved starting with, I think this Thursday. George Verchek has indicated to me that we'll be advertising for bids for those streets. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what those streets are, but there's several of them in the 7th Ward in the first round that's going through Capitol. Dates for sidewalks, we'll be doing that early fall, so if anyone has sidewalks that I have not gotten to yet, please give me a call, remind me or email me to my city email. I do, actually, my wife and I both, canvassed the entire ward looking for those sidewalks that are qualifying for repair. But, there's always a couple that we're going to miss. An update on our quiet zone. This is the at-grade crossing that we've been talking about ad nauseum for the last 2 years. We finally gotten a letter from the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation, and they indicated that both plans that we've submitted to the unit, it's what they refer to themselves, have been accepted. The installation of the raised curb median on both sides of the railroad at-grade crossing as per plan is acceptable to them as well. And the Railroad Engineering Service Unit require, as per design speed, the installation of railroad advanced pavement markings to be a minimum of 125 feet from the stop bar and opposite the railroad advanced warning sign. These all comply with the manual on uniform traffic control devices, and they're accepted as well. The Railroad Engineering Service Unit has not received the quiet zone calculation, and that's a risk calculation that Joe Krobeck, who is working on right now with Lou Frangella from the Federal Railroad Administration. So we're finally, I'm starting to see a little bit of progress here, and once we get the signed agreement from Conrail, as well as their estimate for the advanced warning piece of equipment that's required, well, we'll start construction on that. Hopefully, that will take place within the next month. Next on my list, I have a report about the 2 rain gardens that have been installed by Enviroscapes, who is the contractor that Rutgers hired. Rutgers University is the one that's handling the grant that came through the National Fish and Wildlife Service to create the floodplain restoration of Marsh's Creek. This is something that's being done to enhance the holding back of floodwaters so that we don't get as much fresh water into Marsh's Creek as we currently do. Those rain gardens are, well, they're really doing their job. With this last couple of rains we've had, there's still water in them, and they seem to be handling the amount of water that's getting in there quite well. I've also been told that the rain barrels have been delivered, some 15 of them, to homeowners that were indicated they were interested in having them installed, and there's more coming, and they're scheduled to be delivered next week. And those homes that qualify for rain gardens are being scheduled to have them installed in the next month. And lastly, I'm told that we're having a community-wide yard sale in Tremley Point. It's going to be held this Saturday, May 20th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with the rain date for Sunday, the following day. And I think that concludes my report for this month, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakitis?
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to start with the personnel report. Does anyone have any questions on the report before we? Okay, seeing none, I'll go on. Number 1, in the Police Department, the promotion of John Mekovitz to the position of Police Lieutenant effective May 1st, 2017, at no pay increase until August 1st, 2017, filling a vacancy based upon retirement of Jay Clark. Number 2, in the Police Department, the promotion of Anthony Lordy to the position of Police Sergeant effective May 1st, 2017, and no pay increase until August 1st, 2017, which is also filling a vacancy based upon the promotion of Officer Mekovitz. Number 3, in the Department of Public Property Recreation, the approval of the seasonal list for recreation. Appointments are subject to successful completion of the city's background check, and the list is on file in the city clerk's office. Number 4, in the Department of Public Works, the approval of the seasonal laborer list. Appointments are subject to successful completion of the city's background check, and that list is also on file in the city clerk's office. Number 5, in the Personnel Division, FMLA/NJFLA. First, for employee number 107034, an intermittent leave, FMLA/NJFLA, from April 24, 2017 through November 30th, 2017. Number 2, employee number 107427, an FMLA, from May 14, 2017 through June 19, 2017. Number 3, employee number 000086, an FMLA, from April 26, 2017 through July 30th, 2017. Number 4, employee number 000125, an FMLA, from April 17, 2017 through May 16, 2017. Number 6, in the Division of Municipal Garage, the permanent appointment of Daniel Bertini as the body and fender mechanic, effective May 17, 2017. There is no change in salary. Number 7, in the Office of the Clerk, the appointment of Talia Pina Marin as a bilingual Clerk 1, effective May 22, 2017, at the salary of $34,548 prorated, subject to successful completion of the city's background check. Number 8, permission is granted to post the following positions on Civil Service website. In the Construction Code Department, a per diem building inspector, a per diem plumbing inspector, and a seasonal construction code enforcement officer. I move for approval of this report and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
I would like to acknowledge the employees here that are being hired or promoted. First, I'd like to ask Lieutenant John Mekovitz to please stand up. Congratulations. And we have a new employee, Talia Pina Martin, who's here. We welcome you to the City of Linden. Okay, I'll continue with the 8th Ward report. On tonight's agenda, we have an ordinance for introduction in designating Ashton Avenue from Urbanowitz Avenue to US Route 1 a one-way. This was the result of a traffic study that was recently conducted. I'm still requesting further study regarding the speeding concerns, as well as looking for a solution to the corner of Ashton and Linden Avenue, where we have some issues with cars illegally parking and stuff, so we're still working on that. On May 8th, we had a very productive community meeting. The Linden Police Department did a complete presentation on updating our Neighborhood Watch program, as well as other services and updates from the department. We'll be having a follow-up meeting regarding our Neighborhood Watch program. I want to thank Captain Turbot, the police officers that were present, as well as all the residents who came out. We had a really great turnout for the meeting. So it's important that we hear from the residents, as Chief Parham had said. You know, the police come, they want to hear from the residents, and it's a, you know, when we have these community meetings, it basically gives the officers and the city department heads, as well as the council members, idea of what is concerning the residents, and that way we can find solutions to the problem. So again, I want to thank the police department also. One thing the police department did bring up is about scams that are going on. Councilman Sadowski usually talks about this very often with the senior citizens, but I feel it's important that we keep reminding residents, you know, our senior citizens are usually the most vulnerable as far as getting scammed. I recently had a scam in my ward that somebody made me aware of, and the lady was home alone. She got three guys were ringing her doorbell, and they said they were from, it was a Sunday afternoon. They said they were from Public Works and they needed to fix her sidewalks, so they needed water. And she said, she was quick. She said, "Where's your truck? Well, since when do you do sidewalks on a Sunday?" And, you know, we know it's not, so they ran. So, you know, just be careful. You know, let's warn our seniors not to, you know, open doors. Police come, fire, Public Works will have a truck, your utility companies, you'll see identification. So just please try to be alert. As Councilwoman Ormond mentioned about the trees, we had a lengthy discussion last night in caucus, so I just want to, a lot of my residents, we have very small space between the curb and the sidewalk for trees. So as liaison, I asked Councilwoman Ormond to please bring to the Shade Tree Commission our request for smaller trees so we can have some trees placed on some of our streets in the 8th Ward. So thank you, Councilwoman Ormond.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I also have a report from the Mayor's Youth Commission. I'm liaison to that. They're having several big events coming up, especially with Project Graduation. I could tell you, as being liaison with the Mayor's Youth Commission, we've been working hard to not only work once a year for the Bash, which is the big shindig for our graduating seniors, but to do other events throughout the city during the year for all different age groups. So tomorrow night, for instance, on May 17th, they're having Eat Wings for a Cause at Buffalo Wild Wings in Linden from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. The fundraiser is for the senior class of 2017, as well as for Team Davis Stomp Out R&D and Team Nancy Vesey Relay for Life. The first wing eating contest will be at 6 p.m. with the ROTC cadets versus the instructors, followed at 7 p.m. with the wing eating contest of the police versus the fire department. So this should be very interesting. I encourage everyone, come out, support this cause. There's flyers on the Mayor's Youth Commission page. You could also use your phone to show to your server to donate to this good cause. This Saturday also, on May 20th, is Kids to Park Day at Wilson Park. I know Mayor Armstead's going to give more information on that in his report, so I'll leave that for him to do. But another big fundraiser for the Mayor's Youth Commission will also be hosting a pancake breakfast on June 3rd to fund, and this is completely to fund Project Graduation, or Bash, and it goes directly for the senior class of 2017. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on June 3rd at the American Legion Hall on 120 West Elizabeth Avenue. Tickets are now being sold. The cost is $10, and tickets will be sold at the door. So this is a big, you know, this is a big fundraiser for our senior class for their bash. It's a safe way to keep our seniors on graduation night. And I'd like to acknowledge our fundraiser chair, Sandy Vasquez. I know she's going to be mad at me, but last week she was also awarded by the Municipal Alliance for Volunteer Fundraiser of the Year. So Sandy, would you please stand? This woman, Sandy is one of our city employees that I guess she gives back 100% to the city of Linden, constantly volunteering her time, fundraising. You know, I think people in City Hall, when they see Sandy coming, they're like, oh no, she's going to be looking for another fundraiser, but she's always working for a good cause. So again, we thank you, Sandy. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'm going to right now pull a little Monty Brooks for Councilman Strano, who forgot to do something. Sorry, Mr. Brooks, I'm making fun of you. You're not going to write a letter on me, are you? Okay. Councilman Strano, your turn, please.
Thank you, Council President. This is real important because I think we all want to get paid next week, right? Budget review and finance, request of the report for the for May 16th of 2017. Item number one is the payment of bills totaling $1,205,598.81. The bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. We are in receipt of investments made by the city treasurer for the month of May at the rate of 0.5%. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Excuse.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Abstain.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Council President, I have one more item here. It's a short item, but it's important. The County of Union will be commencing with their paving of Elizabeth Avenue. It's a long-awaited and overdue project, and that will be starting on May 31st. I don't know what day of the week that is, and it will continue through June 2nd. This will be done in the evening hours through the night. There'll be milling and paving, so for those 3 consecutive days, just be aware that Elizabeth Avenue is going to be not travelable in the evening, and that is, I'm trying to see what the limits are. George, do you know what the limits are on that paving project on Elizabeth Avenue?
Are you asking from what street
I
to what
believe
street?
it's Park Avenue to,
Styles.
around Wood Avenue, then they're gonna leave out a space between Wood and Lumber until the JTG project is completed, and then go from Lumber, from the Brook to Stiles Street.
Okay, thanks, George. And that's in my report.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and good evening, everyone. Before I go on my report, anyone else? Forgot any information? Because I think everyone covers everything from that side of the dais, so by the time it comes to us, I swear we have nothing to give here. But luckily, I do have, I'm the liaison to the library, so I'm always honored with a short report from the library. So June 5th, between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., visit Blaze, Pisa, and Clark Commons. 20% of your purchase will be donated to the Friends of Linden Library. A flyer will be needed, so you can pick that up at the circulation desk at the library, and also pick up, I believe they even have, a calendar of events of all the events they got coming down the pipe for 2017. So definitely pay attention to that flyer, grab it, and get involved if you can. Again, the library is a great resource for our children here in the city of Linden, even for adults who are studying and going back to school. So big support of the library. We should be supportive of the library and visit the library. I haven't been there in 2 months, I admit, but I'll be there next month for the next meeting. I have a quick report from the 9th Ward. The gas company just wrapped up the restoration for all the streets between Edgewood to St. George Avenue. They went out there last week, they paved. It was a little bit of a headache because they closed down Northwood Avenue. We were getting a lot of road traffic on Orchard Terrace, and we do have stop signs, and these people were just going straight through. I actually had to call the mayor's office to even get the police to come out there because it was just, at one point, it was really, really dangerous. But as that work is completed, they're in the 9th, 10th Ward border, and again, that whole process will start up in that area. And I encourage people, if you have any questions on the project, they actually been working with us really well. Any concerns that we have, they've been addressing it, and they also been tweaking times and whatnot to accommodate the community. So at the beginning of this project, I was a little bit, again, I look at the gentleman here, I was a little bit more aggressive towards the project, but getting to know the project manager and whatnot, he's been really working with the council and the community. So I'm really happy that they adapted and changed their ways on how they're handling this project. So just wanted to touch base on that and update everyone on that. I'm sure my counterpart will update that project and her piece in the 10th Ward. Also, I just want to give a big thank you to the police department. I thanked the police chief last night in our caucus meeting. They've been doing a hell of a job on enforcing the traffic laws in the Sunnyside community, especially in the 9th Ward. I'm always sending emails and calling the chief and his folks there with traffic concerns. They were out there a week or two ago, and what a phenomenal job they did. They enforced the stop sign, the speeding. I lost count at one point in the evening. I just lost count. It was over a dozen in an hour and a half. I could hear the sirens go off. They're pulling over cars left and right. That HIPE program is definitely working. I wish I can keep them in the 9th Ward, but we have other issues throughout the city. And I was really happy to see them there. The people were really happy to see them there and enforce the traffic concerns. Because at the end of the day, we all have kids, families, and we want to be safe while we walk down our road and cross the streets. So again, a big thank you to that. Also, just wanted to remind people, and it's been a while since I mentioned this, if you see something suspicious, call it in. I know there was an incident in the 10th Ward, and my counterpart here will touch base on that, with suspicious vehicles or even people, the salespeople that are knocking on your door. If you see something, say something, call it in, call our non-emergency number, which is 908-474-8500. Just call it in, because a lot of times these guys will go out here and they will case the neighborhood, and this is exactly what happened in the 10th Ward a few days ago, and my counterpart will touch on that. But also with the salespeople that are knocking on your door, if they don't have a permit, first of all, try not to open your door, just try to yell through your door. If they cannot produce a permit, call the police. We have a big issue here in the city with these salespeople, the solar people, these energy people, whatever you want to call them. Don't ever let them inside your home. They tried to do that when I was actually in the council meeting here last month, and they tried to get into my home to look at my meter or look at something, my breaker. My wife just told them to go fly a kite, basically, and put it on nice words here. But my wife already knew what was going on, and I believe she called in the front desk. But if you see something, say something. It's important. We all need to work as a community. Just keep an eye out. Protect each other, protect our children and our families here in Linden, and so we get overall improvement. So with that being said, I can be reached at 908-986-6100. You can text me, call me, even shoot me an email, amedina@linden-nj.org. I'm always here to help. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hickey?
Good evening, everybody. Let's see how quick I can get through this. The past year, we've been having some issues around McManus Middle School. The grounds, very unkept, different things going on. I had to call in our Department of Public Works a few times. Well, a few weeks ago, I met with Mr. Miranda, who is the Director of Maintenance, Dr. Robert Tosi, and also the principal, Mr. Fingerlin. We went around the school, the entire school, and I went over everything with him. You know, it was becoming a dumping ground. Leaves weren't being done. Snow wasn't taken care of. And yes, I had to make phone calls to the DPW. The children weren't even able to walk around the sidewalks, and we do have a sufficient staff over at McManus Middle School. So after going around, I can see the past couple weeks. I don't have this problem at School 9 or School 10. After going around the schools, the past couple, even coming here tonight, what a difference. They're finally upkeeping. I guess things were set in order. They are also planning on getting new bicycle racks. I think the ones there are about 40 years old. Yeah, they were there when I was a kid. So, you know, just to upkeep the appearance, I told Dr. Robert Tosi, you know, children, I want them to be happy to come to school. I don't want them to walk in the front doors or their parents to drop them off and it be such a somber place. So that is moving along. We also had a couple trees cut down behind McManus and also at Alcala. Lindcrest Apartments, our transportation authority has done an evaluation and is replacing the signs around the apartment area. And also Academy Terrace is going to be paved. We did receive funding for that. The bids were just approved, so we're waiting for that to happen. When it is paved, it will also go about 15 feet up Andover Road, which has been a huge pile of potholes for I don't know how long. I don't know how many times we filled them. We keep filling them and filling them. Let's see. In August, I've confirmed this with SCOTA the other day. I did post it on my Facebook and some other sites. I'm trying to get used to Councilman Medina's next door neighbor app. I'm not that great at it yet, but I'm trying. In August, we're starting Phase 2 with the gas lines. These streets will include Lenape Circle, Kent Place, Kent Circle, Amherst Road, Cornell, Fairway, Princeton, Exeter, Deerfield Terrace, Prospect, Edgewood, and Andover. So this should start sometime in August. Earlier, I was told that it might be starting in May. It's not starting in May. It should be starting around August, and of course, I will update you in the future. Pembroke, the corner of Pembroke and Crescent Parkway, huge issue with water drainage there and just making a mess. I've confirmed with the engineer that that work should be starting soon, and hopefully we'll get Crescent Parkway paved as well. It's in very bad shape, and you know, we do have to remember we have St. John's School there, and you know, all the parishioners from St. John the Apostle Church. Again, continuously filling potholes due to the gas work being done. Anybody needs any done, I can't find every pothole unless I hit it, and type it in my phone real quick if I pull over. So please let me know. I was fortunate enough last week to be invited to the Union County 200 Valor Awards, which nominates and presents award to, it was about 10 people throughout Union County. It was a beautiful luncheon at the Shack of Maxon. One person from the 10th Ward that was honored was a railway fireman, Ted Padavano. He did an amazing, he saved another police officer in a burning house. And then, of course, we had our 4 officers from Linden who were involved in the shooting with the terrorist. And unfortunately, they weren't there because they were accepting a huge award in Washington, D.C. that night. But I was still proud to be there, and I just want to mention their names: Investigator Peter Hammer, Officer Angel Padilla, Investigator Mark Kahana, and Officer Dave Guzman. I was also happy to see in the booklet in 1983 that my father was in the booklet from when he received the 200 Valor Award when he was shot in the line of duty. So it made it the day even more special. Saturday, June 10th, is a barbecue for a cause, for Relay for Life. It's in honor of Jacqueline Wozniak, who we lost many years ago. This is the first fundraiser they're having for her for the Relay for Life. It's going to be held, it's from 2 to 6 p.m. on June 10th, and it's going to be at Antoinette Modrak's house. You can reach her on Facebook, myself. It should be floating around all over there. On next Sunday, the 2017 Preeclampsia Walk will be happening at Oak Ridge Park. This is something very close to Stephanie and Ronnie I can never say their name, Forschweiger's Hearts. Their daughter, Macy, who's beautiful, was born very premature due to preeclampsia. Fortunately, she's a beautiful young girl. Both her parents work for our city, and if anybody can get out to support them, it would be great. In the Office of Emergency Management, I'm happy to say that recently we were one of 2 Union County towns that received a grant, the FY17 grant, for $9,400. This is for activities and operations of Office of Emergency Management. So all these, we have Kathy Colgan, who's our best kept secret in Linden, who does an amazing job and goes out for all these grants, and every bit helps because you never know when an emergency is going to happen. Councilwoman Yamakaitis already mentioned Buffalo Wild Wings. I get these calls all day. Can you add this in tonight? Can you add that in tonight? June Lazaro is having a how you can get some tips on how you can control your money with Mary Baker on June 21st from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Entrepreneur Business Development Center. Light refreshments will be served. And tomorrow night at the library, Prime America, June Lazaro, 10th Ward resident, she's a regional leader of Prime America, is having a little get-together at the Linden Public Library. That's from 7 to 8 p.m. Before, Councilman Medina spoke about an incident that happened in our ward this past week. And unfortunately, you know, our policemen can't be everywhere at every moment. And it's hard for me to explain to residents. This happened about 2:30 in the morning. And yes, it was somebody watching the neighborhood, you know, things we take for granted and we don't see. Unfortunately, these group of people were they target work vehicles, vans. I've also heard Fords with everyone's livelihood in them, expecting to go to work on Monday morning. The one resident they took two at a time. So they went behind the one vehicle, they took the one van, sped around the corner, this other vehicle with other people in it followed them. Then they took a 21-year-old's landscaping truck with a trailer. And this young gentleman who lives in my ward also has cancer. And it's a very sad situation. On my Facebook page, I have a GoFundMe. I have an amazing resident from the 9th Ward that reached out to Councilman Medina. He's offering to give him a top-notch leaf blower backpack to help him get on his feet with his business again. I know many of my residents are in an uproar about police presence, but at that time and moment, our police were in another area of town taking care of a fatality, and you know, it's a tough call. You know, everyone can't be, and we all took it for granted, and we weren't able to realize this vehicle was sitting around. But all I can ask is for all the residents, you know, the police need our help as much as we need their help. You know, if you see something, please call. They're always there. And they will try to get a car if it's available. And most of the time they are available. This was an unfortunate circumstance. So, you know, it's frustrating, you know, what to say to the residents, because I know certainly they deserve to have a police officer there. And there was two gentlemen who weren't able to go to work Monday morning because all of their tools were taken. But I have confidence in the chief. I have confidence in our police department. With a congratulations to John Mekovitz. Wonderful. And we just have to work together. We need to call if we see something that isn't right. We can't take little things for granted, and we have to work together. Yes, I'm almost done, but the last thing I just want to say is that people have touched on before that it is election time, and I just want to give a special thank you to my husband, and I'm going to say it publicly, and I'm going to take a minute for this. I am married to an amazing man, amazing Irish man who likes to golf, and he's an honest, good, hardworking man that takes care of my family. And for what he has to put up with for me to be a councilwoman, I just want to give him a special thank you. And, you know, I'm just so appreciative. I can't say it enough. And he deserves that. Thanks, Joe. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We have to pull another Monty Brooks here. It seems like it's contagious. You know, Councilman Medina forgot one little thing.
One thing, and it'll be very brief, and I think it's important. I touched on this a few months ago. Last year, I started a project of upgrading the lights on Raritan and DeWitt Terrace, also Moan as well, because they're right there. Just received an email a couple hours ago from Lieutenant Davenport, who's the traffic commander in Cranford. They ordered the new intersection, the poles, the lights. They will come in a couple of weeks, and then they will start the installation process with the vendor. Then the county will come out and retime those lights to fit the traffic flow on Moan and DeWitt Terrace. So just be cognizant of that. As we get closer to an actual date of installation, I will definitely put it out on Facebook, Nextdoor, Sunnyside app, just to warn people about the potential delay. Thank you.
I thank you, Councilman. I did say it's contagious. Seems like Councilman Brown doesn't want to be left behind. Councilman?
30 seconds. I don't think we really touched on the incident that happened with the park. A lot of residents have been voicing concern about our parks, the safety and cameras. Working with Councilman Medina and the Technology Committee, that is something that we're looking for down the road, part of our Phase 2. Phase 1, as far as the cameras, was the train station, municipal buildings, upgrading things of that nature. Phase 2, which we're looking down the road, would address cameras in some of our parks so that we can either prevent some of the stuff that's happening but also catch the people that are doing acts like this and making our parks a little bit safer. That was it.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else? Because I'm not going to interrupt the mayor when I call for him. Okay, Mayor, you ready, sir?
All right. Good evening, everybody. First, I'll start with the happy stuff. Saturday, May the 20th, from 12 to 4, is Kids to Parks Day. We'll have free hot dogs, chips, drinks, fishing, fun. There'll be a lot of giveaways. There'll be crafts, games, face painting, and a literacy table. The Linden Police Department and the Fire Department will be there, along with the Union County K-9 unit. Location will be Wilson Park. This is behind Linden High School, behind Linden High School Academy, between Orchard and Summit Street. I'd like to also announce that the COP re-grand opening will be Monday, May 22nd, from 4 to 7. This is right off of St. George Avenue, near Charles Street. Another evening of fun. So hopefully all our children in our community will attend as well, this nice event. On June 4th, the JTG Promenade, they will have a health screening. It will be at the Promenade and it will be at the JTG Center. This is 9 to 4 on Sunday. On Saturday, June 10th, there will be a 5K run from School 1 down Wood Avenue to Blanky Street and Washington Avenue. The loop will go around 3 times, and this is in support of the Linden High School class of 2020. And lastly, on the same day, June 10th, there'll be a Merchants Day from 12:30 to 9 with sidewalk sales, music, free food, and more. So please be there. There's a lot of exciting events going on for the next few weeks. If you need more information, you can go to the Linden website or contact my office for any information. It's all advertised on LindenTV. One more thing. On the 20th, there's also going to be a craft show at the JTG Center, craft and vendor show from 11 to 4. And last but not least, I want to remind all to visit Aviation Plaza on Monday evenings through the 23rd of October, because we have car shows there, and they've been very nice, well attended, and people are really having a good time. The business community at Aviation Plaza is really thankful that we're having these events, because they've also reported that there's been an uptick in business at all the restaurants. So tell your friends, your families, please come out and attend. It's an excellent day. The next part of my report, I didn't want the happy stuff. I forgot to congratulate Lieutenant Mekovic. Great guy, great police officer. I've known him for a long time. We're part of the old guys in City Hall now. I'd also like to congratulate Sergeant Lordy on his promotion. So another great guy. We're very happy with the work that these gentlemen do. They've earned it. They put their time in. They're excellent public servants, and look forward to seeing them working in new capacities. That was the good stuff. Now we're going to go to the not so good stuff. Unfortunately, my colleague from the 5th Ward has left. It seems that she does her reports and she goes into her little, I guess you can call it attack mode, and then she leaves. But I'm going to defer to our legal person with regards to the status of the truck that I drive. And at this point, I'll let Dan Antonelli, our attorney, discuss why I drive the truck and all the intimate details.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief with my remarks. This issue had come up last summer, and at that time, I issued an opinion. I thought the issue was put to rest. Apparently, it has not been put to rest. I can't be any clearer or more specific. Under this form of government, the mayor is the head of the police department. That's just not my opinion. That's actually state law that says that the mayor is the head of the police department. In addition to that, there are certain guidelines that govern the mayor's use of the vehicle. The IRS is one of them. So in this particular instance, the mayor pays a quarterly tax, both federal and state tax, on an assessment that's determined by the finance department. So the IRS guidelines require the city of Linden to assess income to the mayor, not actual dollars, but a dollar amount from which he then pays taxes on. So that envisions personal use of the vehicle. I also indicated previously that members of council don't have any authority or jurisdiction to regulate, limit, or indicate how the mayor should use the vehicle. I would also note that in addition to the assessment that the mayor pays taxes on, he is also assessed for gas and maintenance use of the car, and that's at 50%. So whatever gas is used for the quarter, whatever regular or routine maintenance is done on the vehicle, 50% of that is assessed to the mayor, for which he then also pays taxes on. So I know it comes up every now and again. I just hope we can move forward. I find the mayor's use of the vehicle to be perfectly legal. It does not violate any rules or regulations. And to the extent that the IRS imposes this assessment on him, it indicates that there will be personal use of the vehicle. So for those reasons, I find the mayor's use of the vehicle to be proper in all respects, and I just hope we can move forward from this.
Thank you, Dan. Finally, you know, in all the years that I've been here, serving as a council person and in serving as a mayor, I've never tried to inject politics or really discuss an election, other than the fact that I would remind you that we have an election coming up June 6th. But my colleague has once again decided that she would like to shine a light on what I'm doing as I travel in this community of Linden and my community. And it's disturbing that she would continue to do such. But I will say this. She mentioned the things that I talk about when I see people. And I would advise the citizens of Linden, when I come to your doorstep, you need to listen. If you see me and traveling and I stop you, you listen. Because when I get there, I'm going to tell you about this form of government, that it's a strong council, weak mayor form of government. And as often, sometimes it proves difficult for a mayor to get something done. I'm going to talk to you about a hazardous materials storage fee that I put on the table in February of 2015, that I got the idea from Carteret, where they're raising millions of dollars doing it. And we have 20 times the amount of chemicals that Carteret has. I'm going to tell you that I mentioned it to the mayor of Newark, New Jersey in October of 2016, and he's already passed it in his town, and they're receiving fees for it already. Okay? I'm going to talk to you about the landfill, okay, and how we could put we could put solar panels on it, and we could have generated 4 megawatts of electric, okay, which could be used to offset the garbage fee that everybody's talking about. Up until $400,000 we could generate. In worst case scenario, I could reduce that garbage fee by $400,000. I'm going to talk to you about the fact that we have a company called Fiabilia who wants to buy land that we're not using for about $5 million. And in the worst case scenario, I can eliminate the tax for 3 years. Okay, and even if we couldn't come up with one other idea, I could at least reduce it by the $400,000 that we would generate with the electricity, which incidentally, we don't have to sell to PSE&G. We could sell directly to the companies down there. We could bypass the grade. And these companies have an incentive to buy it from us because they would receive the tax credits, because as a governing body, we can't receive the tax credits. So not only could we sell it to them cheaper, we would be able to give them, they would have incentives with the tax credits, okay? So when you hear me, when I come to your door, you listen, because I got a story to tell. It's a story about people who've had an opportunity to move this city forward, but have decided to sit on their hands and let good ideas languish on my desk, okay? And it shouldn't be that way. If there's a good idea, we should move on it. So, I've got a lot to say. And it's about good ideas, how to move a city forward. And I'll do it every chance I get. And if a councilman is out there and they see me, come on over. We could discuss it together with the residents. Don't take pictures and start posting nonsense on Facebook, because that's all it is. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I conclude my report. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple small things to say. About a month ago, I mentioned about Food for Haiti that we're going to be putting together through a church in Old Bridge. I have some flyers here for anybody who wants to volunteer. It's just a matter of volunteering for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. They have everything ready, and it will not be at the church, it will be at a school. That will be on June 3rd. The second thing, had a call from a supervisor from the rec department. This Thursday, 7 o'clock, the LMPC, they're going to try out yoga, flying thing. Al, can you? I'm sorry, it's a body artwork and it's yoga where you're flying or you're attached in the air, and they want to try it out. So I'm asking people just to come out and see. I'll be there. I will not be taking the yoga, but I'll be watching because I'm interested to see what it is. I know what yoga is, but this is something where you hang upside down and, well, so I volunteer my team to go out there and try this. So please, 7 o'clock at the LMPC. Al, you're not taking that class? Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to move for resolutions 2017-202 through 2017-223. Does anybody want to talk on any of them? Yes, Ms. Malik? 217. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? May I have a motion, please, for resolutions 2017-202 through 2017-223 with the exception of 2017-217?
Mr. Council President, I can't believe my luck. I only have one.
Ralph, just say it quickly. Say it
Sir,
quickly before they change their mind.
I would like to move for the approval of resolutions 2017-202 through 2017-223, with the exception of 2017-217. And ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Orman?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Malik, can you please come up?
Can someone just, for the $80,000, I mean, what do we really need for storage for the body-worn camera system?
Chief Parham, this is the resolution of maintenance and storage from Taser International.
Yes, sir. Good evening. So the original contract for the body-worn cameras extended over several years. And the majority of the payment that we're looking at goes for storing the data that is retrieved from those cameras.
Okay, so it's data storage, okay.
Correct.
Answer it, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief. I think it's something to do with tasers, but may I have a motion, please, for Resolution 217?
I move that we approve resolution number 2017-217 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina? Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ordinance from first reading. If anyone wishes to make a comment, no questions, just comment. You will come up once I call you. Ms. Honan, can you please read 61-38?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-20, one-way streets shall be in the same as hereby amended as follows. Add Ashton Avenue in south direction from Urbanowitz Avenue to US Highway 1.
Does anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 6138 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 61-39?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 6 Alcoholic Beverage Control, delete 6-11.1 fingerprinting and photography by the police department required in its entirety, and add new section 6-11.1 fingerprinting and photography requirements. This amends the process for fingerprinting and the issuing of photo IDs to the employees of ABC establishments.
Does anybody want to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move for the introduction of ordinance number 61-39 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 61-40?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic. Chapter 7 Traffic shall be in the same as hereby amended as follows. Section 7-33 Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A Handicap Parking on Street. Add 910 Clark Street, one space, on the northeasterly sideline of Clark Street, 113 feet more or less northwesterly from the projection of the northwesterly curb line of Cleveland Avenue in front of 910 Clark Street for a length of 22 feet. The aforesaid space is specifically reserved and designated for a vehicle for America, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, to be identified by the license plate number and placard number P1765422, to be issued by the city, and no other vehicle bearing or displaying a handicap license plate and/or placard or not shall be permitted to park in this such space.
Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the passage of ordinance 61-40, ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Brooks? Yes. Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 61-41?
An ordinance to approve the amendment to the financial agreement between Linden Urban Renewal Limited Partnership located at 1400 Park Avenue, Linden, and the City of Linden. This is extending it for an additional 15 years.
Any comments on this? May I have a motion, please?
I move for introduction of 6141 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 61-42?
An ordinance authorizing the execution of a tax agreement with Duke Linden LLC for payments in lieu of taxes for a newly constructed industrial building with respect to Block 469, Lot 39.03 on the tax maps of the City of Linden.
Does anybody wish to make any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move for the introduction of ordinance 6142. Request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we're going comments from the members in the public in attendance, city business only. I repeat, city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments. You will have 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, I will ask you to stop. So please, when you come up here, you talk directly to me, okay, and tell us everything you need us to know. Mr. Henry Mack, can you please come up?
God, I hope I understood what you said, that, because I'm here on behalf of the peoples,
Yes, sir.
and you said something in the contents of, repeat that again, please, I want to be within the order of the law.
Anything you say has to do with the city business, no personal, political, or derogatory comments, please?
Okay, thank you kindly. Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of the City Council, Attorney at Law, Chief of Police, members of City Council, I will respectfully ask to make this appearance on behalf of the peoples. I had no intentions on coming, but the peoples brought some things to my attention, and in this recent 90 days, that's the last 90 days, I have heard what I heard. And I asked them, they said, well, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm gonna do like I heard somebody say a few months ago, Peter Brown said a few months ago, I'm not gonna deal with that. That's what I said. Mr. Mayor, they told me to talk to you for just a couple of minutes before I get to you, Mr. President of Council. Mr. Mayor, I heard some very strong comments coming from you, and on behalf of the people, I must qualify myself, say I came to the state of New Jersey, July the 18th, 1964, and I had the opportunity to meet you, And the main man I met with your father and your mother. And I come to tell you that the people said it, Mr. Mayor. The people told me that we already know the bottom line. And we love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Because you grew up with us. Let's be clear on that. We grew up with you. Mr. President of the City Council, the people told me to tell you, they're just a little bit tired of you and the mayor not going in his office or your office and sit down and have a conversation. The people, I didn't say it. The people said it.
Okay.
The people said it. You, I'm talking to you now, and the mayor. Go in the mayor's office and have a conversation and stop. They told me to tell you and the mayor, stop the nonsense. That's the bottom line. That's what they said. I didn't say it. They said it. If they said, if y'all don't stop it, they'll stop it. They said, be clear on that. Members of City Council, the people told me to tell you, City Council, men's and women's. Men's and women's. Stop. Represent your ward and let the mayor get to the county. Let the county get to the state, and let the state get to the federal government to bring us revenue that will bring this argument to a closure, which means revenue in the city of Linden. The people told me to tell all of y'all, watch the language. We are sitting in a prime location between the New Jersey Turnpike, Garden State Parkway, down at the port, airport, and Philadelphia and New York. And we got the audacity of you over here disagreeing with each other. I didn't come up here and say that. The people sent me tonight. And I got like this. Like, 'cause I ain't got no argument with nobody. And the people told me to tell you. If we have an elder man, the elders, respect our elders. Watch the language now. Watch the language. Respect our elders. We were raised like that. If anybody changed that policy, you got the right idea. Talk to the wrong individuals. Watch the language there. Got the right idea. Leave our elders alone. If their mind is set in a unique way and the community said it, it's okay, then leave him alone with no diabolical movements. Watch the language. No diabolical movements on our elders. Don't do it. Because you do that, then you have messed with humanity. You mess with humanity, you have messed with old mankind. And there's 4 corners to the planet Earth. I don't know where you're going. The Earth ain't big enough. In addition to that, council members, talking to you, they told me to tell y'all. That's why I love to talk to y'all tonight, when they shut me down. Y'all, and I heard somebody say, listen to me. I didn't say it, he said it. The mayor said, listen to me when I ring your doorbell.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. That's your 5 minutes. Thank you, sir.
But then they got the drift. Say no more.
Thank you.
Kindly.
Mayor, I would like to make an appointment in your office. Let me know when you're available, because the people say so. I will sit down. One word, sir.
On behalf of Eli Johnson, he want me to tell the engineer department he is so grateful for their love and compassion, and I'm so grateful to the engineers that up there on that floor up there. And he want me to say to you, honorable people, he love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Thank you.
Mr. Verchek, you heard that? Thank you, Mr. Mack. Mr. Moyle from 500 Morningside, did I say that correctly, sir? Moyal. Sorry. You got 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Sri Moyal is my name. I live at 500 Morningside Avenue. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, I came home. I found trees planted in my yard or in the city right-of-way, about a foot or two from the curb. I wasn't consulted. I wasn't asked. I wasn't even informed that the trees are going to be planted. Not that it's a city right-of-way. The city can plant trees. But I think it's common courtesy to notify the resident. I think it would behoove the council to give the Shade Tree Commission some guidelines as how to behave with citizens of the town. I had an experience several years ago with the trees again and with the Shade Tree Commission where they wanted to plant them in areas that I didn't want. It was 6 to 8 feet in from the curb, and it would have hampered my enjoyment of my property. Even though it's the city right away, it's still my property. I pay taxes on it, I maintain it, and so on. At this point, I would like these trees removed. 6 years ago when they were planted, I had to speak with Mayor Gerbunka, and I asked him to have them removed, and he did so. He had it removed. This time, I think it was an act of malice on the part of the head of the Shade Tree Commission, who admitted as much in the committee meeting when I asked him why he picked my house to plant these trees, when he knows that I didn't want trees. And he said, well, I thought you sold your house and you moved. So that just gives him a carte blanche to do what he wants. So, nonetheless, I don't want those trees because they remind me of the incident several years ago and the incident now. His high-handed manner, the way he treats us, citizens of the city, is not acceptable. And you, as the council who appoint him to that, I think you should send him to charm school. You know, I mean, he needs to know how to talk to people. And that's all I have to say. One more thing I just would like to mention is that I have dogs. I walk them. I walk them around School 9. And I notice that many people walk their dogs around the square that is School 9 with the open grassy area. And many people do not pick up after their dogs. I approached the principal of the school several years ago and suggested that the children draw pictures with subtle messages to, people who walk their dogs to clean up after themselves, because this is where kids play. I don't know if the council can do anything about it. It's one of those things that unless you have cameras all around, that you can't, it's really hard to enforce. But it's something that should be brought to your attention, that, especially in parks where children, young children play. Yes. It's terrible. It shouldn't be this way. That's all I have to say, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Sir, who is your council person?
Mrs. Orman.
Okay, great, because she's the one that will help you out on this. You were not here earlier, but she mentioned everything that you were talking about, okay? Lisa, you'll take care of that?
Mr. Morel and I have been in conversation, and yes, he is my commitment to make sure that we resolve this issue.
What was the question?
The dog stuff, are they doing it on the curb, or is it on the grass?
Yeah, we have the soccer field, the
I
baseball
thought
field.
that we had an ordinance, maybe we need to look into that, the city attorney. We have an ordinance against that, walking?
Yeah, signs are there.
If you're caught, but the problem is, there's nobody there to catch them. If a tree falls in the forest, nobody's there to hear the noise. It's like that.
Yeah. All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Freeze, can you tell us your name, your address, and the company that you're working with?
Sure. My name is Alexis Freeze. My address is 1113 Summit Terrace here in Linden. I've lived here my whole life. I grew up here. And about a little over a year ago, I started a nonprofit community garden here in Linden, Sunny Gardens of Linden. And we kind of started probably about 2 years ago, but it really didn't start running until last year. And we have 20 plots. They're raised beds, 6 by 4 feet raised beds, and we provided all the dirt. We've now just recently got a fence put around it by the city, which we're very thankful and appreciative for. They also help us out a lot. They've got us, our water source. They turn it on and off when we need it. But I'm also here to talk to everybody and see, we're really looking for volunteers. We really don't have too much help in there. We just need, nothing crazy, just people to come water. Also people to buy any plots. They're for sale. People can come in, you buy your plot. It's for $50, and you have it for the whole season. You have access to the water source that we have there, the hose, the shed, any tools that we have, and you plant whatever you would like. You can plant flowers, you can plant fruits and vegetables, any herbs, plant anything you'd like, and you can you take care of it. You come and you water it, you weed it, and you harvest it. And anything that you grow is yours to keep. We also have some plots that ourselves, Sunny Gardens, the people that work there, volunteer there, have a couple plots we actually just planted today of different vegetables. We have cucumbers, tomatoes, collard greens, cauliflower, just to name a few of them. And at the end, when we're ready to harvest, whether it's through the season, whenever everything starts growing and producing, we're going to try and start we would like to start a farmer's market and sell it to here in the city. So if anybody is interested in buying any plots or volunteering, we are willing to take everybody and anybody. So just I'm going to leave a flyer. I have flyers. I have sheets to sign up for the plots here as well. And if any of my contact information is on there, we have, you can reach me at any time. My phone's always on me. So that's it.
Ms. Freeze, can you tell us where these plots are?
Oh, sorry. That's important. The plot's on Dill Avenue in Linden at James Iozzi Park,
Across the towers?
right across from the towers, right next to School 4.
And everything's fenced in?
Everything is fenced in. We plan on getting a motion light soon, hopefully. But, we also have a GoFundMe. I have started a GoFundMe for us, It's on my Facebook, and I've been sharing it quite often. If people, my name, like I said, Alexis Fries, look me up, and you can share it and either donate or share. We'd appreciate either one.
Besides this plus, do you take care of plants?
Do we take care of
Do you
plants?
do plants? Flowers?
Oh, yeah, we also have blueberry bushes. So if you come, we just planted 9 blueberry bushes at the end of last season. You can come, anybody can come from the public. They can come in and eat any of the strawberries that come from the bushes.
You also have worked with the CID. I believe they sponsor you to get started?
Yes, the CID department has sponsored us. They helped us get everything started with the attorney, and also donated some money towards us to get us up and running, getting the lumber bought and put together, the sheds. We also got a grant last year from Groundworks Elizabeth, and they also donated our plants this year. I just went and picked them up on Saturday morning, and that's the plants I planted today.
Now, besides the vegetables, do you think you might be able to do some flowers in Wood Avenue if you were working with the CID?
Yes, we also are able to get grants through our being a 501c3 and work with CID and the town to get any grants for any trees, anything to beautify the streets of Linden.
How much is each plot again?
$50.
All right. Oh, you can put me down for 2.
2.
I'm sure that a lot of people in this dais would be more than glad to help out.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, you have, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be quick, sir. Yes.
Sweetheart, I'm so impressed with what you said. I'm very impressed with that and be advised of that. But you must be advised, I looked at what you looked at with me, and I feel some kind of way that, you know what I'm talking about, and say no more.
Yes, sir. Mr. Brown,
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Do you work with our environmental commission?
I haven't, no.
I would suggest that maybe calling the clerk's office, getting that contact info, because the environmental commission would have contacts with people who would probably be interested in this, and plus have a budget to help with marketing or outreach program. That would be probably a good partnership. So I would definitely reach out to them. They meet, I think, every month, but definitely contact the clerk's office tomorrow to get their contact info.
All right,
And maybe
thank
you
you.
guys should partner up together.
Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Fries.
Mr. President,
Yes.
could you have her forward that information to my office as well so we can,
We have, you got flyers, right?
Yep, yeah, I have everything.
Can you pass me a couple flyers, please?
Yeah, I have them. They're at the seats. I'll bring them up.
Okay, yes. Mayor, you'll take care, maybe put them on Facebook or email them out? And just to add to that, I saw Mayor Armstead get down on his knees, and I believe you planted something, right? Yes, and he'll probably buy one this year, right, sir? Yes, sir. You see, you got 3 plots sold already. Anybody else on the dais?
I'll take 2.
There you go, okay?
Count me in for 1.
Ms. Fries, are you taking names here? You got, Mr. Medina gets 1, Ms. Hickey gets 2, the mayor said 7, 1 for the mayor. I thank you. All right, we're done here. The following council meetings will be as follows. No, we're not. Okay. I need a motion to close the public hearing.
so moved.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, June 19th, 2017, in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, June 20th, 2017, at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, June 20th, 2017, at 7 p.m. in the council chamber, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. I need a motion to adjourn.
Hold on, hold-
What about the
Council
1
President.
minute?
You complained last month, and I
Oh,
just...
excuse me.
Well, I,
You changing it every month? What about the 1 minute?
I'm trying to make you happy, Bob.
What-
Don't we have a
Don't make me happy, just do what's right. What about the 1 minute? I would
You
like-
want the 1 minute?
Yes.
I want.
Okay, then I'll give you that. Okay.
Thank you, that's all
So
I'm
I'll put
asking.
your name first, or you don't want it?
Bob Sadowski, I'll spell it to you, too.
No, you don't have to. B-O-B. Anybody else? Okay.
I'd like to, yes.
Lisa, under 1 minute.
It'll be 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Sadowski, hold on a minute.
Okay, 1 minute, real quickly.
All right, start.
I would like to congratulate John Mekovitz and Anthony Leedy to get, for the promotion in the police force. Real quickly, I would like to congratulate Evelyn Burnett Marchione, who lives in our 6th ward, being named Linden Senior Citizen of the Year. May is designated as Senior Citizen Month. I want to recognize all seniors for their contribution to our country as pillars of their community. Their hard work over the years has been instrumental in the success of our nation. I would also like to remind all of our senior citizens, no matter which ward they live, that we have a primary on June 6th, which many of us remember. The old-timers, June 6th is D-Day, where many seniors gave their lives. Maybe the new generation forgets, but it's a very important day. All I want is, please exercise your your right to vote, and think of this great country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Norman?
I'm going to be real brief. When I started on council, there were so many times that I would ask a simple question like, can you do that? And I was given the answer, yes, because I could. So I just want to state that just because you can disrespect our lawyer when he's trying to talk to you, just because you can bring business to the council floor when you're not, that's not city business, just because you can do it, I would like to let the city and the Fifth Ward Councilwoman know that you're right. It's not right. So if you're going to talk the talk, you should walk that same walk. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Makaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.